The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, PM Albanese attends Leaders Dialogue, Jufa queries IFM's alleged hacking, and hunters back in training today. As two big Pacific Ocean states, Australia and PNG, must work as equals with our fellow Pacific states to build a stronger, safer, more secure region. In his address to Parliament this morning, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese reminded leaders that they all have a part to play in realizing that vision.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, when addressing Parliament today, called on leaders to defend the democracy in which they serve at all times. He said to fulfill that duty, all leaders must demonstrate the value of this place and the ideals it is built on, and by proving that the system we belong to has the power to change people's lives for the better.
This begins with ensuring that every girl and boy has the right to grow up happy and safe and with the opportunity to get a great education. The government I lead is committed to strengthening Australia's education partnership with PNG, working with you on the important priorities you've identified, including the early years and vocational education and training, and making sure that equality for women and girls goes far beyond the opportunity to attend school. We know every nation can do better and do more to achieve this, from greater economic empowerment to preventing domestic and family violence to achieving equality in representation. I am proud to lead the first Australian government in 122 years where the majority of our members are women.
The Prime Minister went on to congratulate the two women MPs elected to the 11th Parliament. He said they represent their people and inspire the future generation of women leaders in the country.
You are representatives and you are trailblazers, and I hope you inspire a new generation of women and girls to serve their country and their democracy. Equality for women is fair, it is right, and it is powerful economic reform. It boosts productivity, participation and drives growth because it means drawing on the talent and initiative and enterprise of the whole population, not just half of it.
Mr. Albanese will be travelling to Wewak to visit the burial site and pay respects to the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare on Friday. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
In response, Prime Minister James Marape said Mr. Albanese was the first Australian Prime Minister to make a warm, reassuring statement in Parliament, indicating that both nations are equal development partners and will grow side by side into the future.
Latest budget support to my government, the credit finance accessing, And of course, importantly, the human resource developments that we continue to embrace and support, the foreign direct investments to Papua New Guinea, and lastly but not the least, many of our Christian churches that continue to find support from Australia. Let me say on behalf of the entire people of this country, from the youngest to the oldest, our sincere appreciation for Australia's continuous help to Papua New Guinea. Australia has been the biggest helper to our national development endeavors, and I want to say a hearty thank you.
Australia has invested a total of 58 billion kina in PNG through the Australian private sector. This is more than they invested in India, Indonesia or Malaysia. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has confirmed when addressing Parliament today.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says Australia will support PNG in the downstream processing policy driven by the Marape Rosso government. He said Australia understood that PNG is eager to expand its exports of more processed goods and agricultural products, and these are areas where Australian business community can play a key role. He added that Australia also stands ready to assist PNG to improve its biosecurity regime to enable farmers and producers to access international markets.
And as the world looks to a more sustainable model for growth, PNG has a tremendous opportunity to expand your green economy. I know a number of Australian companies are keen to explore what can be done in this area, including in hydro and hydrogen production, for example. Together, I am confident that we can ensure that the rich natural resources of Papua New Guinea are made to deliver good jobs, lasting investment and sustainable development for your nation.
PM Albanese mentioned that infrastructure is a long-standing policy passion of his government and that Australia will be working with PNG to deliver an ambitious program of nation-building projects, including assisting in building and maintaining a better road network to make it easier for farmers to get their product to market and to ensure communities have more reliable access to good services.
And here, on the threshold of the biggest markets and the fastest growing economies in the world in human history, digital and communications infrastructure is every bit as vital as roads and ports. This is why Australia built the Coral Sea Cable and is helping to build a productive and competitive telecommunications market for PNG.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese arrived in Port Moresby this morning for the 4th PNG Australia Annual Leaders Dialogue. Upon his arrival at the Jackson International's APEC terminal, he was given a guard of honour and 19-gun salute. Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso and senior government officials welcomed him.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese arrived on an Australian Air Force aircraft at around 9:30 a.m. at the APEC terminal. He is in Papua New Guinea on a 2-day visit, including participating in the 4th annual PNG Australia Leaders Dialogue meeting. Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Kachenko, Australia High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea John Philp and PNG DF Commander Mark Goyna welcomed Prime Minister Albanese as he stepped off the aircraft. He was given a 19-gun salute and inspected the military guard of honour. Straight after the welcome reception at the airport, Prime Minister Albanese paid a courtesy call to the Governor-General, Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai, before heading to Parliament. This would be the first time for an Australian Prime Minister to ever address the PNG Parliament and the country. At 12:30 p.m., the 4th PNG Australia Annual Leaders Dialogue commenced at the APEC House. Prime Minister James Marape and senior ministers were present for the dialogue. Issues discussed during the meeting include the security treaty. Both leaders and a delegation will travel to Wewak, East Sepik tomorrow to visit the resting place of the late Great-Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. Jemima Sukbat, TV1 News.
At the bilateral meeting between the two prime ministers, both outlined the security treaty, which was top of the agenda.
If I can say that when we speak about our security arrangement, one of the things we've spoken about is increased defence cooperation, including training of personnel. We've spoken about increased in terms of potential for joint operations as well. For other issues, one of the things that both of our governments have done recently is establish anti-corruption commissions, both in PNG and in Australia.
These conversations are geared towards adding value to our economy and strengthening the economy. It is now a known fact that if PNG is weak, it's a weaker region and an exposure to Australia. So it is in their interest also, as well as our own domestic interest, that the economy is stronger, strengthened going forward, and that realization has matured. Under this Labour government and Pangu governments, we are working towards strengthening our country so our economy is pitched higher. Today, the greater conversation was on economy than security and other issues, and if I could put it at that.
TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House. Open Net.
Unlock infinite possibilities with a back-to-school scholarship from Digicel. That's right, you could win one of 5 scholarships valued at 3,500 kina. Simply top up 5 kina or more, or buy a 4G LTE smartphone for your chance to win. So hurry, visit your Digicel store today and top up 5 kina or more, or buy a smartphone to win one of 5 3,500 kina back-to-school scholarships to secure your future. Only with Digicel, better together.
Welcome back. Governor for Northern Province Gary Jufa in today's Parliament sitting posed questions to the Minister for Finance and Planning, Rainbow Paita, relating to the alleged hacking of the government's financial system on October 28, 2021. Minister Rainbow Paita responded by informing that the Department for Finance and Planning, upon his direction, is seeking a second opinion on a preliminary report he already received.
Gary Jufa said he posed the same question this time last year regarding the outcomes following the alleged hacking of the IFMS system. Jufa was informed by then Minister for Finance and Planning, John Pundari, that the matter had been handed over to the National Intelligence Organization to investigate. In response, Minister Rainbow Paita explained that most provinces and districts use the IFMS system. Thus, when the central agencies of government were affected by the malware attack, so were the districts and provinces.
When the incident took place, the cabinet took certain reactive measures to what was seemed as an attack on our system that governs our financial system, especially within government. And NEC gave certain direction to then the Minister of Finance to undertake findings as to what would be the cause of that malware attack on the IFMS system.
Paita informed that he received preliminary findings from his department. However, he is seeking a second opinion from experts on the report. Paita added that the department will be utilizing a specialist company to provide a second opinion, which he will then present to Parliament and also the general public.
Finance department, through the ICT department, division within finance was tasked to establish what was the cause of this malware attack. When we formed this government last year, I've asked my secretary to get a more expert opinion on the report that is available at finance, and then we can have a more conclusive finding and I can make it available to this floor.
Minister Paita said the report will be made available in the next 4 months. Mary Silla Kelleton, TV1 News.
On Wednesday, the Dream Damasuk aid post in North Fly District reopened after being closed for almost a year, following the passing of the former community health worker. The aid post will now be mended by the new community health worker to serve the nearby 8 villages and a population of around 3,000 people. Locals of the community were grateful for the 10 boxes of medical kits that were delivered to the aid post. Western Provincial Health Authority acknowledged the Western Provincial Administration for the support towards reopening aid posts, which have not been operational. A call for public to take precautions has been sent out for people to wear a mask because the new COVID Omicron XBB variant coronavirus has emerged in Asian countries, including Singapore. Singapore news agency reported that the COVID Omicron variant is different, deadly, and not easily detected properly.
Students living in communal settings are vulnerable to communicable diseases. Thus, it is important to be aware of such important announcements as the surge of COVID Omicron XBB variant in Singapore and other countries. The XBB virus does not necessarily come with coughing or fever as the former COVID-19 does, but there will be joint pain, headache, neck pain, upper back pain, pneumonia, and general loss of appetite. This strain of the virus is not found in the nasopharyngeal region, and it directly affects the lungs, the windows, for a relatively short period. The report stated that the nasal swab tests are generally negative for COVID Omicron XBB, and false negative cases of nasopharyngeal tests are increasing. This means the virus can spread in the community and directly infect lungs, leading to viral pneumonia, which in turn causes acute respiratory stress. XBB has become highly contagious, highly virulent, and lethal. People in Singapore have been advised to avoid crowded places, keep a distance of 1.5 meters, Even in open spaces, wear a double-layer mask, wash hands frequently, even when everyone is asymptomatic or no coughing or sneezing. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Want more data for less? Get it now with Digicel's revamped Red Club. Enjoy data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Plus rollover data, the widest coverage, fastest speeds, and best reliability. Only with Red Club. Join Digicel's exclusive Red Club today and get loads more data for less. Yes! Data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Whoa! Join today for as low as 10 kilo weekly to access discounted data bundles and get more data for less. Dial *675# or visit the My Digicel app today. The Red Club. Only with Digicel.
St. John Ambulance, how can we help you?
Calls like these are a part of our day-to-day routine at St. John Ambulance.
Ops base, this is Alpha 130. We cannot locate the patient or the house.
Our crew is unable to locate you. Ma'am, I would like to send you a text which has a link that can help us find you.
Introducing the GoodSim application. When you click on the link, you give us permission to log into your location and get to you in time.
Confirmed Ops base. Alpha 130 has arrived on scene.
This is the Oasis, a whole virtual universe. You can do anything, be anyone, without going anywhere at all.
So we take it together?
Sure.
Players, are you ready?
And skipping through, real opportunities. Oh, Barry Transfer! Daryl Mitchell takes the catch. Wow, what a finish.
Welcome back. Women's Microbank has partnered with Sun King and NGF to supply and distribute solar products to rural areas, starting with East and West Sepik. The product is to be called Solar Powered Dinau and provides easy access to finance for rural people who need electricity. An effort to increase its footing in impacting the lives of women and their families in rural areas. Women's Microbank, also known as Mama Bank, partnered with Sun King and NGF to supply and distribute solar products to rural areas, starting with East and West Sepik. The product is to be called Solar Powered Dinau. It will provide easy access to finance rural people who need electricity. The partners agreed to pilot the new product in Mama Bank's Wewak branch and 9 other agencies in the 10 districts of the Sepik region. According to Sun King country manager Andrew Tegete, Sun King has presence in 40+ countries and has sold 13 million plus of Sun King products worldwide. Their focus products are the Pro 400, Home 200X and the solar-powered fan. Chief Executive Officer for Mama Bank, Gunanidhi Das, stated the partnership has enabled Mama Bank to tap into green financing as a potential implementing partner, hence is bringing to the market its potential for microfinance solar loan. Das acknowledged the development partners in the likes of USAID, PEP Project, DFAT, MFAT, ADB, UNDP and the Bank of PNG, particularly the acting governor as well as the governor, for enabling Mama Bank in providing the financial inclusion. The launching opens a roadshow program to be rolled out in Wewak, Maprik, Wasaragawi, Draikikir, Kusambuk and Angoram in East Sepik from the 16th to the 27th of this month. In sports, the PNG Hunters' final 30-man squad for the 2023 Host Plus Cup season returned to camp over the weekend after spending the festive season with their families. The team officially resumed training on Monday, minus 4 of the senior players who are currently on train and trial with the Dolphins in Brisbane.
With 8 weeks remaining before the Host Plus Cup season kicks off on the weekend of March 11 and 12, 2023, the PNG Hunters have finalized their 30-man squad with the inclusion of returning hunters and a number of exciting young talents from the Diesel Cup who have earned their spots on merit. At the Hunters' first media session today, Hunters coach Stanley Teppen said he's been impressed with the boys' attitude, commitment and enthusiasm after the Christmas break. Teppen was quite excited to note that a number of young players who were not in the original squad but were invited to join the camp have made a final cut. He made specific mention of 2 rising youngsters who were standouts in last year's Diesel Cup competition, namely Wigman's live wire Tapi Solu and Central Dabari's Whiz Kid and Player of the Year Moria Moria Jr.
Young Moria from the Central Dabaris is looking exciting. I think he was given the Player of the Year in the Digital Cup, so it's a good reward for him to come up to the next level. Tapia Solu from the Ella Wigman is another young guy that we've got big reps on that we're looking for him. He'll hold a key position in the field, so we've just been working closely with him.
Apart from the new faces, Coach Teppen was also pleased with the work ethics of senior Hunters players, especially Ila Alu and Ko, who have continued to provide great leadership and mentorship to the young members of the squad.
So, like Ila Alu, his experience and talk, especially during the pre-season when it gets a bit tough, he's been really good. Otavo, he's just having him around camp. He's still recovering from his fractured arm, so it's good that we've retained him and he's slowly running and getting back into full fitness. We've got Brendan Nima and Benji Court, and outside backs there that are hopefully they'll pick up.
Teppen also revealed Hunters' export to the UK in Watson Boas has also rejoined the Hunters camp for training this week. While Boas is still contracted to Doncaster, he will make a decision shortly on his future with the UK club. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the news tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.